Howdy Banger pals, Blaine Smith welcoming you back to Overkill Reviews, Banger's weekly metal review show. It's been so long since I've seen you, but I don't have any updates, so let's just dive into some music with a great video done by our pal Cannibal Cam and Rabid Dog. Hell yeah! Yes, it's the new album from Autopsy called Morbidity Triumphant, out today, September 30th, on Peaceville Records. Formed in Oakland in 1987, Autopsy are an essential early death metal band, with their first two records being universal classics. They're also doubly notable in that they never cross over fully into death doom, but their willingness to slow things down right to the line makes them sort of a proto-act for the heavier side of the genre versus the kind of more doomy side, the softer, prettier by the Peaceville 3, which is a little confusing because Autopsy is also on Peaceville. Despite breaking up in 1995 and reforming over a decade later, they've maintained a core lineup that is stable and the same. The only real shuffle comes with the bass position occasionally, and we are once again having a shuffle in the bass position. Haha, there you go. Greg Wilkinson is joining, which is actually a bit of a surprise because he's kind of from the sludge scene more than the death metal scene. So, hey, is this a recipe for success? Is this a new thing? Did they make a mistake? Let's find out whether it's a yupsy or a whoopsie. What? To be honest with you, Autopsy is the type of review I dread having to do. A lot of these legacy acts basically are the Lehman Brothers, in that they've just gotten to the point where they're too big to fail. Their early records are important enough that they can subsist on them forever, so all they need to do is release something new every 5 years and kind of just get rolled to the top of festival bills. I point this out, I tell them to do better, their fans get mad at me and say I'm not respecting an important band in the comment section, snore. So I really procrastinated pressing play on this record until like basically the very last minute, and when I did, it's immediately good. The record starts with Autopsy flexing their veteran status instead of relying on it, because each track showcases a facet of a fairly diverse death metal band. Stab to the Brain being death metal chaos, Final Frost slowing things down, and The Voracious One bringing in some death and roll swagger that some of these senior bands have been doing lately, which I really enjoy. When you combine that with the visual impression of the awesome album cover by Wes Benscotter, the rest of the record could start petering off into mediocrity, and you're still going to have a great taste in your mouth when you're done. Luckily, they ain't just a pretty face, they got a fat ass too. The back end of the record is really, really strong. Maggots in the Mirror re-energizes us with a grindy 1 minute and 42-second runtime craziness before the last two tracks, including the interestingly titled Slaughterer of Souls. Feels a little taken, but anyways, the last two tracks bring really peak Autopsy. Death metal is a state of mind, not a tempo. I'm usually doing something else while I'm listening to these records because I'm pretty busy, and the speed at which my neck would snap over to press play again once the record ended really shows you how well both it starts and ends, because the last two tracks really feature solos that get me going. I absolutely love both of them. I'll give one of them to you now, but the other one you got to tune into the record for. as I said, the addition of Greg Wilkinson on bass was a bit of a surprise, as he's a sludge guy, but boy howdy, he couldn't be a more perfect fit for this band. I really hope this is the end of the bass player shuffles, because yeah, it turns out sludge bass player in Autopsy makes so much sense. His tone is a perfect balance of thick and audible while never crossing into that wet fart bass tone that you get with tech and prog. And the few times the rest of the band slips up and the song isn't so great, his bass backbone keeps things from getting below like not so great into a bad territory. He expands the doom range that they're able to work with, and in doing that, the band clearly has faith in him. They give him opportunities to shine and take center stage, and he does it great. Off the top of Skin by Skin, which is a single, they just let him have the wheel, and I think it's great. It's fantastic. Have a listen. Wow. And just a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. We were not sure what to review this week, so we gave them a little option. They chose Autopsy, and oh boy, am I glad they did, because I love this record and I'm really excited. So thanks to Patreon supporters, and hey, maybe go on over there and support yourself if you're not already over there. You can vote on things like what we cover. Hey. So, face good, ass fat, but Autopsy is in their mid-30s, and like a lot of us in our mid-30s, the record's got a bit of a gut. The only real speed bump on the record comes smack dab in the middle with Tapestry of Scars, which unsurprisingly is the longest song, and it's just too long. It's not that there isn't awesome elements to it. It still has some wildness and the aforementioned great Wilkinson bass, but the meat of the song is just too simple and meandering to go on for as long as it is. If the track was cut for 5 minutes to 3 minutes, I'm not saying it would be a great song, but I might not have noticed it. So, you know, the record doesn't need to go to the gym. It just needs to suck in a bit for pictures. One of Autopsy's secret weapons is how absolutely silly the band can be. Well, a lot of the original death metal acts got bogged down in seriousness and evil. They're willing to goof around, and it makes this record so infectious, from vocal deliveries and the ughs and the rolled R's to completely wild guitar solos popping up whenever they damn well please. This feels like a veteran band on a victory lap. They made the mark on their genre, and now they're living it up, making the music they want to make. It's fitting that they're on Peaceville Records, because it gives that kind of Dark Throne vibe where it's like the band said, hey, you know what? Screw everybody else. As long as I'm having fun, that's all that matters. And it feels like they're having fun, which makes me think I'm having fun. And if I think I'm having fun, that usually means I'm having fun. So a review I dreaded ended up being an absolute blast. This record feels like Autopsy's fully fleshed out and figured out the identity they've sort of been wrestling with ever since they reformed. This record is a ton of fun, and it made me really excited to see them perform this material live, not just material from 89 and 91. I'd even go so far as to say I think this is the best album they've made since those two records. Yeah, this is... I'm gonna go on record. I think this is the third best Autopsy record, which makes it an easy 4.5 out of 5 skulls with a banging bod. Continuing with what I said in Behemoth, this month is absolutely insane. So I can give you 3 death metal and death doom records that came out today as well, without having to step out of the genre or the date range. If you want some heavy old school death metal out of Portland, Autophagy released Bacteriophage on Pulverized Records. If you want like old quality Amon Amarth as a Death Doom band. Graceless Chants from Purgatory on Raw Skulls Records out of the Netherlands. If you want some heavy experimental Death Doom from, hey, Toronto, what? That's crazy, yay! That's where I live. Quasar released All Consuming Hunger on Voidhanger Records, and I will step outside of the date a little bit because Tribal Gaze released the 9 Choirs on Maggot Stomp September 16th. I really liked it before it came out, and people have been popping off, so if you're not already on the Tribal Gaze train, make sure you hit that record up as well. So that's been the record. What did you think? What did you think of the shoutouts? What did you think of the album? Are you as excited about this Autopsy record as I am? Are you glad I finally stopped crapping on all our heroes? Do you think this record sucks and this is the one I missed and all those other ones were good? Let's just get the mix in the comment section. Get silly. Let's go.